Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carter Hendricks, and I am the president-elect of the Kiwanis Club of Hopkinsville. And on behalf of the Kiwanis Club and the Rotary Club, we want to thank you for being with us this afternoon on such a beautiful, beautiful day to be in the Fort Campbell area. Can I get a who on that? That's what I wanted to hear from you guys. Fantastic. Well, thank you again for being here, and we're so proud to be able to once again be a part of this Command Sergeant Major Luncheon. I do ask that you rise for the posting of the colors, honors to the nation, and please remain standing for the invitation delivered by Chaplain Weaver.
Let us pray together. Almighty God, we invite your presence here today as we celebrate a long-standing relationship of trust between the 101st Airborne Division and the Christian County community. Lord, I especially thank you for all the veterans here today, those past and present, who have answered our nation's call to protect and defend freedom. Furthermore, I thank you for the families and friends in this community who stand side by side with our soldiers, ensuring the vital support that allows the mission to be completed. Finally, Lord, I thank you for the freedom that we hold so dear and acknowledge that freedom is not America's gift to the world. Rather, it is God's gift to humanity. Lord, help us to bring glory to you and our country in all that we do here today. It's in your precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon. Please be seated. My name is Frank Giles, and I am the president of the Hopkinsville Rotary Club. I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to the Command Sergeant Major Luncheon. Of course, this event is normally hosted by the Hopkinsville Rotary Club and the Hopkinsville Kiwanis Club. And if you haven't heard, this is part of Salute Week. Does anyone not know that this is part of Salute Week? Be honest, because if so, Carter and his staff haven't done their job. All right, Carter, you're safe. Everyone knows that this is part of Salute Week, and this is the opportunity that we take time out of our day-to-day lives, and we actually pay you the respect and the honor that you're truly deserve this week, but you deserve it every week of the year and every day of the year. Now, as you know, we have a great relationship with Fort Campbell, but we always strive to make that better. I've got military friends at church, and they tell me that we're a more welcoming community than anywhere, but we're constantly trying to improve that. And it's events like these and the attitudes that we have that we reflect as we're here, as we thank our military for what they do, that strengthens that relationship. Now, if you are a veteran, would you please stand? If you are a Kiwanian or a Rotarian, would you please stand? And if you are a military dependent, would you please stand? Let's give each one of those individuals one more round of applause. And I would like to personally thank all the spouses that are here, especially the spouses of the active duty, whether you're soldiers here or not, because as you know, the Hopkinsville Rotary Club puts on the world's largest auction every year in all of Rotary International. And being a single man this year, I realized how important a spouse would have been. And I adopted 3 spouses for that week. And so, ladies, we are extremely glad that you're here, and we want to personally thank you for each and everything that you do. Now, Carter, as we stood up and I saw the Kiwanian stand and I saw the Rotarian stand, I am pleased to say I believe that we edged you out slightly. Now, don't go by the attendance rolls, but we're going to go by my head count. Carter kept his remarks extremely brief. I'm going to do the same. So at this time, I'm going to ask the 2 head tables to go ahead and start through the buffet line. If you'll let the head tables go first, then the staff here at the Convention Center will come through and let your table go in an orderly fashion. Thank you.
Program underway so we can get you guys out of here in a timely manner. Again, we want to thank all of you for being here today. It's a great event, and we just love having you guys up here in Christian County. And this is not a memorial service, but I would be remiss to not mention what today is. It is 9/11, and that phrase means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Sacrifice, perseverance, and for many on May 2nd, success and victory. So this morning I was getting ready for work and watching Fox News, and my husband was actually there. Now, he was not skipping out on PT. I just want to make that clear. They didn't have it this morning, okay? He was not skipping out. And so we were sitting there, and as we watched the plane fly into the second building, he said something to me that really kind of hit home. And he said, you know, everything I have done in the last 11 years is because of that plane. And it made me think, how many people in this room could probably say the exact same thing? And so, while I'm sure the past here may not have been the most exciting and most fun for some of you being deployed and coming home, but as a community, we're thankful that your paths have brought you here. And because of that, we do celebrate each of you during Salute Week. So Frank already did half of my job earlier by making sure everyone knows what Salute Week is. So I kind of feel like I should do a pop quiz now, but I'll let you guys off the hook. I do want to mention just a few things looking forward with Salute Week this week. First of all, I think Saturday was pretty awesome. How many people were at Saturday's events? Yeah? Quite a few people? Okay. All right, well, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was a pretty great time. We really appreciate all of you coming, and it was just a wonderful kickoff to Salute Week and having everyone here and being able to fellowship in that way. So looking forward, Thursday we do have our ladies luncheon and tour of homes. If any of you would like to attend and you have not RSVP'd, we will still take them today. So just let us know if you'd like to come. We're really looking forward to that with all of our historical homes lined up to see. And then of course this weekend is packed with lots of family events. And I want to stress that this is a really fun weekend. So please tell your family members, make sure your FRSAs know that everyone is welcome to come out on Friday for Freedom Friday. And that is our chili cook-off. The 4 o'clock starts the public sampling of chili. Military and their dependents can eat as much chili as they possibly can for absolutely nothing. So come on out and enjoy that. And then of course we do have bouncers, face painting for the kids. We're also going to have some static displays courtesy of the 101st. We appreciate that. And then at 8:30 we're going to have fireworks that evening. So definitely bring the family out and enjoy that. We also have our Trot for Troops Saturday morning. So eat all the chili, run it off that morning. We have a 10K and a 5K starting at the YMCA in Hopkinsville. And that starts at 8 o'clock. And then the fun run is at 9:30. And then that evening, we invite everyone to come out again to the Viceroy in Oak Grove. We're going to have a free concert, civilian, military, doesn't matter, completely free for everybody. So come on out, gates open at 5 o'clock, and then Uncle Cracker will be playing at 7 p.m. for everyone. So we want you guys to come out and enjoy that as well. So mark your calendars, tell everyone to come, it's going to be a great time. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the Commanding General of the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault and Fort Campbell, Major General James C. McConville.
Well, thank you. It's been a wonderful week. And this is a wonderful community, and we are so thankful. I'm going to have the distinct honor of introducing our Division Command Sergeant Major in a couple of seconds, but I did want to tell one story. And the story you haven't heard before because I just made it up and it's not true. But anyways, it's probably appropriate for this setting. Anyways, there was this POW camp. And inside that POW camp, there was a cab pilot, a general, and a Command Sergeant Major. And one day, the commandant of that POW camp came in and said, hey, I got some bad news and some good news. The bad news is I'm going to have to execute all of you tomorrow. The good news is I'm going to give you one wish. So he went to the cab pilot. He said, what's your wish? He goes, well, you know, I'd like a candlelight dinner with a beautiful woman. So he goes, okay, I'm going to give you that. He went to the general and asked the general what he wanted. And the general said, I want to assemble the troops one more time so I can talk to them. Then he went to the Command Sergeant Major. The Command Sergeant Major said, I want to be shot 1 hour before the general starts talking. So anyways, I think that's appropriate for today, and I have the distinct honor of introducing one of our Screaming Eagle heroes, our Division Command Sergeant Major Alonzo Smith. Sergeant Major, ooh.
First of all, a few acknowledgments to Mrs. T.C. Freeman, Mayor Kemp, Judge. I'm glad you all could be here today, as well as other friends, this great community, and military personnel. Let me start off, when I was told that I would be able to have the opportunity to speak here today, which I'm really thankful and honored to do such, I went to a few people for some advice from one of my classes back in college days, know your audience, preparing a speech, and get to the bottom line up front. So I went to, because the CGR always said, hey, my staff, they're always at your disposal, Sergeant Major. If you need them, seek their help. So I went to one of the, I won't mention his name, one of the staff members said, help me out a little bit with some talking points, some other things so I could, make sure I hit the oomph of the topic at hand. So he gave me a few talking points and pulled it out, and it started off with, "Thank you, sir, for the gracious introduction." I said, "Well, I'm not going to use this." Everyone knows me that even when I asked to speak at any type of venue or event, whether it's a group of newly arrived soldiers to Fort Campbell or senior representatives throughout the community or the Army, I just like to speak from the heart and really to express myself. But first, a few more acknowledgments that I would like to point out. First of all, I would like to thank the Kiwanis Club for holding this luncheon here today and some of the support that they provide throughout the community, some things that even I was not aware of. But the yearly support of the Fort Campbell Christmas Party, the support of the NCO and Soldier of the Quarter and Year on Fort Campbell, and some other projects in the greater community. The Young Children's Priority 1 campaign, the assistance and work with the Salvation Army to assist those needy families on Fort Campbell, the Habitat for Humanity, and the Trology Center for Women. So let's give the Kiwanis Club a big round of applause for what they do. I also would like to recognize the Rotary Club, and this is probably my second time interacting with Rotarians. The first time was last Veterans Day last year, and I was invited to Chicago during Veterans Day activities, and I was the guest speaker at the Rotary One Club of Chicago, and I did a little research to the oldest Rotary Club in the world. So it was a privilege to speak then, but it's even a great honor to speak now. But some of their contributions as well, they provide a lot of support to the Fort Campbell community and their families through scholarships, student loans, and other programs. So please, a round of applause for the Rotary Club. And another acknowledgement would be the Christian County Chapter Chamber of Commerce and its Military Advisory Committee. I really don't know too much about a Military Advisory Committee and other things until I came to Fort Campbell. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on of why such great things happening here. But as well, please, let's give them a round of applause for their efforts and support. Now, I'll tell you, and this was some talking points that the good officer provided me, but now I'm through with those, and it's time to speak with passion about this great community here that Fort Campbell has the privilege, of sharing. That is, your community years ago was opened up to Fort Campbell and soldiers and families, and has continued to morph to this great, I would say, community, and that it is now. What makes a community? What makes a community in the eyes of a soldier? We always talk about the great things that this community does, provides, and supports for the soldiers and the family. But I'm not too sure you actually know or understand how a soldier views this community. And I've been throughout the military careers, a lot of military installations and posts, big and small. And the amount of support that the soldiers and family of Fort Campbell receive from Hopkinsville, Oak Grove, and Christian County is second to none. It is truly a world-class organization and community that we have here. And soldiers take a lot of things into consideration when they think about assignments. And I'll share some of these thoughts of mine with you. As a division commander sergeant major, 2 or 3 times a week, I get an email or a call from someone else throughout the Army or a soldier wanting some assistance on a soldier that wants to be assigned to Fort Campbell. And each time, the opening statement that's mentioned is not Fort Campbell. They want to come back to Fort Campbell. They want to come back to the area. And when you say the area, it's because everything that encompasses it. The community, the care, the warmth, the genuine concern of the soldiers and their family. The atmosphere of a community is what makes up a military installation. And I've been to many installations where I can't recall any type of atmosphere whatsoever as far as interaction with the military and their families. So that is, soldiers take that into great consideration on saying they want to come to Fort Campbell because of the community and the atmosphere that it provides. It dawned on me last month at the retirement ceremony, and I started paying attention to the amount of soldiers that retire and stay in this community. And as you look around a lot of the other posts, the percentage of those soldiers that retire, regardless of where they're from, that say that I'm going to now make Fort Campbell area my home. Again, it's the atmosphere, the genuine concern of those around, and the support that they receive. Now, let me share a little story with you as well. And maybe this can put things in a better perspective of how a soldier really feels about Fort Campbell. Now, a few people, Commanding General, General Heckman, Colonel Tony, know the story of Bruno. But let me tell you how Bruno and a soldier has a few things in common. When I was a young lad, 12 years old, on the 6th grade, my father was a military man as well. Drafted in 1962 and spent 30 years in the military. So even as a young lad traveling about, I saw different military places, posts and installations, both as a dependent and as a soldier. So I can always gauge how great this place is. But my father was away on a training mission, and my neighbor, who was in the military as well, were PCS in Germany. They had a small little dog named Bruno. And my father was away on training, and they said, hey, we want to give you Bruno because we're PCS in Germany, and we can't take him with us. I didn't know what PCS meant at that time, but I wanted Bruno, the little dog. So I asked my mother, she said, okay, you can have Bruno for now, but when your father comes back, he'll make the final determination. So about a week later, my father came back, saw Bruno run past. What is that? He says, Bruno. You know, happy, he said, Bruno. He says, okay, Bruno, I'll take care of you this weekend. So the weekend came, he lured Bruno into his car. He said, say bye to Bruno. And I'm like, bye, Bruno. And he went off and he was gone, and he came back home, and about an hour later, you know, I was out on the back patio sad because Bruno was no longer with me, and I hear this. Now I looked around the corner, and it was Bruno. He found his way back home. And I was so happy, you know, and I concealed him for a day or two. But to no avail, my father discovered Bruno again. And so a few days later, he lured Bruno back into his car and took Bruno off. And once again, I was sad and depressed. And maybe about an hour later, Bruno found his way back home again. So I was very happy. So to make a long story short, because that went on a few more times before he was finally successful in keeping Bruno away from me. But I think about Bruno. Bruno was the soldier. You think about it, a soldier wants to be in an environment, whether it's the command climate or the community, that fosters good values and beliefs, genuine care and concern. Bruno came back because of his love for the environment that I provided for him. Well, my mother did because she paid me allowance to take care of Bruno. But he sensed the love and care of that home, the warmth and compassion. So if the soldier is Bruno, then who is the home? The home is this great community that we live in, Hobsonville, Oak Grove, Clifton County community, to provide that genuine warmth, love, concern, and care for the soldiers and their families. So I just wanted to see if there could be some similarities there, and I believe they are. In closing, I'd like to tell you this as well. Though, again, I couldn't acknowledge everyone at the beginning for all the support of Fort Campbell and its families. Another thing that happens quite a few times a week and throughout the month is I receive calls from other sergeant majors or leaders throughout the Army. They all have one, this golden question that wants to be answered. Why is the relationship between Fort Campbell and Hobsonville such a great model of efficiency? What is the key? What is the secret? And they always mention one individual's name as the cornerstone and centerpiece of that. And so we're talking and we'll share ideas and concepts, and this individual as well has provided great counsel and advice to me on military civilian matters to ensure that this great strong bond that we have in this community remains intact. And it is time that, though we can always say how supportive, how glad we are, the support that we receive, we can't say it enough. We can only say it louder and louder and louder each time, not taking anything for granted. But it is time, I would like for everybody to please stand and give a round of applause to Ms. T.C. Freeman. So, as I prepare to move out and go back and enjoy the rest of the day is all of you. Again, that the amount of support that we receive here, the soldiers and their families, again, is second to none. And again, I'm not here to just talk about what you do, but to confirm or reaffirm what you do is very important. And it's never taken lightly or for granted for what you do. So that said, there is one thing. I had a discussion with the mayor before this started. Yeah, and with his approval, he gave me permission to talk this briefly. This past weekend there was going to be a softball game. And as I woke up that morning and saw the weather, and I sure hope it's not canceled. So as I proceeded to go down my driveway, I checked my email, and sure enough, it was canceled. But some told me, hey, still drive over there. Sure this is not a ploy by the mayor, so that we forfeit it. Let's have some verification. But being that I've known the mayor for a few years, I trusted the judgment of the email. I turned around and went back in, but I thought about it. So I was like, man, I'm a competitor. I don't like to lose in anything. I was scolded by my father once for crushing my mother in checkers. And I was really looking forward to this chance, to be competitive. Because I wanted revenge in some way, because a few weeks prior, the Sergeant Majors lost to the Commanders in the softball game, and I was devastated because we went into the last inning with a 4-run lead. And somehow we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. But I was really sad until the CG stepped up there and made the comment, hey, it was a great game, but at the end of the day, we're all 101st Airborne soldiers. Regardless of who won number-wise today, we're all winners. So I thought about that, I said, regardless of who would have won that softball game, had it been, we all would have been winners because of this great community that we serve and share in. And for that, Air Assault, thank you very much.
I'm standing between you and the door, so I'm going to keep this pretty brief, Dave Fernandez. You can hold me to that. I do want to thank our premier Patriot sponsors, University of Phoenix and Oak Grove Tourism. Let's give them a round of applause this morning. This afternoon, they are sponsors of the entire city. Helping us to make it happen. Let's also give a round of applause to all of our elected officials that are in the room here today. If all of our elected officials just raise your hand up real quick, let's offer them a round of applause. Once again, we thank all the Rotarians and the Kiwanians that are in the room. We certainly appreciate your continued support, not only of this event, but of all you do throughout the community. Now, let's give the Rotary and Kiwanis Club a round of applause as well as our military affairs volunteers. All of our MAG volunteers that help to make our committee strong. Without our MAG volunteers, we wouldn't have a salute week, so we certainly thank each and every one of you. And finally, I do have just one little thing before we retire the colors. This is a competition. I heard us getting called out a little bit by the Sergeant Major about this softball game. I've got a photo on my camera to prove that field was that wet, Sergeant Major, but let me assure you, we are working to reschedule this softball game because we will not forego this challenge. So you better bring your A game, CG. You got that? You better bring your A game. We are getting geared up for this softball game, and hopefully the Lord will work with us, and we'll have a nice day of weather. So we'll get that rescheduled. But in that vein, when you're at a softball game, you cheer for the team that you're for. Is that correct? Yes, you guys, it is correct. So if you're at a softball game, you cheer. And in the military, sometimes we hear the term, I can't say it as well as the guys in the suits can, but hula, right? We hear hula come out of a soldier every once in a while. So I always like to test our civilians as to how well they can say it. But I've got a room full of experts in how you say hula. And so what I want to do is have a simple competition. I want to hear how loud we can lift up the term. So I need to hear all those in the military, if you would, on the count of 3, just say that wonderful term. 1, 2, 3. Listen to that. Now I think I saw some veterans and retirees. You're still part of the civilian community, Colonel Freeman. You can work with us too here just to make sure. So that's pretty good. Now, civilians, did you hear how it sounded? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, guys, I think Hopkinsville's got what it takes. Now on the count of 3, let's do it all together. 1, 2, 3. Now that's what we have to have as the spirit of this community, is the hua spirit. Let's keep it live not only during Salute Week, but throughout the year. Thank you guys in the green suits for all that you do, to your spouses and your family members for all that you do as well. We certainly are proud to be the home of the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault, and all of the lieutenant units. Have a great week, and if you will, please stand for the retirement of the colors. God bless you. We stand dismissed.